What's up? I'm Alec White. He's Justin Spears. You're watching the Wildcaster. And today, Justin, we had a very big announcement. The Arizona Wildcat quarterback battle has been decided. And we got a wrench thrown in the decision because Arizona's not starting one quarterback. They're starting two quarterbacks. We've got Gunner-Cruz and will-plummer named the co-starters for the Wildcats for the upcoming game against BYU. Justin, how did you take the news about this, and did you expect this to happen?
No, not at all. I went into this press conference with a Gunner-Cruz is Arizona's starting quarterback story already typed out and ready to go. I was just waiting for the words to finally come out of Jedd Fisch's mouth. But when Jedd Fisch started talking, we first talked about the alliance, but that's another story. But he then said, we're going to go with both Gunner-Cruz and will-plummer. It's like, so you're going to go with
more?
You're going to go with two starting quarterbacks. These guys have been competing against each other ever since spring ball. Jordan McLeod was the third guy in the mix, but really, kind of separated himself as more like the third string once he came here. And once we saw scrimmages and saw more time, you saw the way the reps were divided up, that Jordan McLeod was probably going to finish third in the race. Yeah. I just didn't think that there was going to be two winners. And so Jedd Fisch said that Gunner-Cruz will take the first drive, and then depending on how the game goes, that's when they will install will-plummer into the mix. So technically Gunner-Cruz is the starting quarterback, but I'm just saying, for an Arizona fan's perspective, expect to see a lot of will-plummer against the Cougars.
And the one thing that he pointed out, Jedd Fisch pointed out today, was that when he was deciding about this quarterback battle, he looked at how each guy performed with the ones. And he said Gunner-Cruz's best days came with Arizona's first-team offense, and will-plummer's best days also came with Arizona's first-team offense. So he felt equally as confident in both guys. And Gunner-Cruz will start that first series against BYU, then will-plummer. He didn't really put a timetable on when it's going to get boiled down to one, but he said at some point this season it will be just one singular starter. What do you think needs to happen in order for that decision to be reached?
Well, I think Gunner-Cruz needs to consistently play well, because as of now, it's his job to lose. He's the starter. He will be, the guy taking the first snaps, and then will-plummer is just going to be right in Jedd Fisch's back pocket in case things go haywire. So, if Gunner-Cruz comes out, let's say they play competitive against a BYU. Then they come back and beat San Diego State at home. They beat NAU. You string together a couple of wins, but then it's going to be interesting once Pac-12 play starts. If Gunner-Cruz can play consistent during Pac-12 play and maybe even get a win or two, then maybe I think that's when you'll see Gunner-Cruz officially established as a starter. But as of now, I don't know the way things are going to go. And, two very different stories, right? Both are Gilbert natives. Both are roommates currently at the University of Arizona. Both played against each other in high school. But the differences between Gunner-Cruz and will-plummer, it's even a reflection on their high school stats from when they were legitimately full-time starting quarterbacks. Gunner-Cruz, passed for a little over 30 touchdowns and had 5 interceptions, where will-plummer had 50-plus touchdowns and 30 interceptions. So will-plummer is a guy who can be a little reckless with the ball, but he makes those throws that shows why he's a Division I quarterback. Where Gunner-Cruz, sure, he may be hesitant in throwing the ball a little bit, but he takes care of the ball. But now we're going to see how's it going to translate into the game, because a lot of the plays in the scrimmage on Saturday, sure, Gunner-Cruz made the right plays, but you would say, okay, but that would have been a sack in a real-life setting. So it's going to be interesting to see on September 4th.
Well, if you want to hear Jedd Fisch's full comments about Arizona's quarterback battle and how he arrived at this decision, check out Tucson.com. We're going to have those full comments for you, as well as a podcast, a Wildcast podcast later this week. We're going to have our colleague Michael Lev join in about how this decision was reached and what we can expect going forward from the quarterback position. He's Justin Spears. I'm Alec White. You're watching the Wildcaster. We'll see you next time.
Two quarterbacks.